You know, I have always tried to make it a point to never look at the message boards on the Internet Movie Database, because you will never find a more brain dead group of dopes who say the most infuriating, nonsensical garbage than on the. Well, there are a lot of other places online where you can find that kind of shit, but the Internet Movie Database just really irritates me with the message boards. I mean, it's a great site. I love using it. I use it a lot, but the message boards, oh my god, they're horrible. And I'd like to point out, I've never looked at the message boards, and thought, wow, well, that's a good point. Or at least I very rarely have. I mean, they always just infuriate me. I mean, it's almost like the Roman Polanski incident. Yeah, I mean, this idiot is saying that the only reason anyone hates Roman Polanski, the only reason that people just are in such an uproar about how much this guy is a worthless piece of shit, is because they don't like Jewish people or Europeans. I mean, yeah, Polanski, the guy who raped the kid. Yeah, he's a rapist. He raped a child. But no. It's anti-Semitism that's the reason people don't like. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? I think that the fucking raping of the child and living on the lam in Europe for like 30 fucking years is a legitimate reason to hate the guy, right? Or the Final Nightmare situation. Yeah, dude, so this moron on the IMDB was saying that the only reason people hate Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare so much is because it's the only Nightmare on Elm Street movie directed by a woman. Yeah, it's the director of Tank Girl. Yeah. Rachel Talalay, I think her name is. Yeah, I know, she's terrible. No. It's like, oh no, it couldn't be the fact that people just hate this movie because it's shit. It's clearly that there are just a bunch of sexist nerds complaining about, no girls allowed. Yeah, totally, I mean. Yeah, no, the IMDb, it's like an intellectual wasteland, isn't it? But, I finally just, for some reason, decided, hey, I'm going to go look up shit on the IMDb. A regular occurrence for me. But then I decided, hey, I'm going to look down on the message boards. Big mistake. Especially considering this is the message board for an actor or a director and a writer who I cannot stand. Now, I'm sure most gamers out there know of the work of I believe he's British, director by the name of Paul W.S. Anderson. Not to be confused with Paul Anderson or Wes Anderson. Both of those guys have talent. But, this guy's name is Paul Anderson, but he decided to go by his initials, W.S. Anderson, as well, because, hey, you know what? Why not try to get confused with Wes Anderson, a director with talent? I mean, I'm sure that's why he did it. I wouldn't put it past the guy. I've seen a number of his films, and Mortal Kombat was actually a pretty fun one. I mean, that's how you do a B movie. It's like a combination of great, like, 90s American action and, like, Hong Kong action movies, and just that B movie charm, on a big budget, and I really appreciate that. It's a great action flick. But Death Race, that was pretty good too. I prefer the original in the 70s, but then you look at some of his other films. If you're a filmmaker and a movie as bad as, say, Event Horizon makes it in like your top 5 best films, along with other movies as bad as Soldier, stop making movies. Because really, if I were to make a list of the top 5 best movies I've seen by him, Event Horizon and Soldier would both make it on there. And both of those movies are garbage. Now, as I was saying, but his best known movies at this point in time, the Resident Evil films. He's not responsible for the second one, where they're in the city. You know, the destroyed city, whatever. But you know what? As bad as that one was, it was the best of the bunch by a lot. So of course it's the one he didn't direct. I mean, why would it be? I mean, I'd give it about a 3 out of 10, which is like maybe a 4 out of 10 if I'm being fair. I hate it, but still just below average. Whatever. But I mean, it's so much better than the other ones because he didn't direct it, and that's not the reason I think it's better. The reason I think it's better is that at least it just isn't as painfully awful as the ones that came after it, or as just god-awfully boring as the first one. It's just kind of right in the middle of it's still making me angry, but not as much, and it's not boring the hell out of me. But anyway, onto his IMDb page in the message boards. But first, I want to point out a little quote listed in the trivia section. One of his trademarks. Page. Dialogue and characters that transcend their video game origins, thus highlighting humanity's place in the universe. Ow! I'm sorry, that physically hurt me. Do you know what the definition of pretension is? The definition of pretension is profundity without merit. That statement made about this guy, this hack of a filmmaker, the British Michael Bay. No, that's too kind for him. Uwe Boll with a big budget. No, that's still too kind for him. Retard who makes zombie movies. This idiot, this mindless buffoon catering to the lowest common denominator, writes dialogue that highlights humanity's place in the universe. No, fuck you, and fuck whoever wrote that. This guy, even his fans can't believe that, right? This guy just makes mindless action movies that don't even have the charm that mindless action movies should have. It's just like, here's a shitty fight scene. Slow motion. Zoomed in too far. 3D effects. Ugh. His dialogue does not highlight humanity's place in the universe, unless that was the statement made by some nihilistic goon saying that humanity's place in the universe is waiting in the cesspool of cinematic dog shit. And now onto the message boards. This ought to be good. This post is titled, "Stop the Hating." The first poster says, "There are people who like what he does. I don't believe anyone has ever forced you to watch his movies. If you're on this site, you should know that you can see which movies is made by who." Whatever. This guy is... guy, girl, whatever, I don't care. This person is saying that old argument of, if you don't like it, don't watch it and shut up. You shouldn't be complaining about something that you don't like. Because we live in a society where if you dislike something and can present valid reasons for why you dislike something, you're a hater. And you should shut up because, if you don't have anything positive to say, don't say anything at all. We live in a society where that mindset is accepted, is the norm. It's accepted as the norm, people. So, I should just shut up and stop talking about how I don't like this guy's movies because nobody put a gun to my head and made me watch Event Horizon. Or Resident Evil Afterlife. Oh, God, Resident Evil Afterlife. I mean, I've heard Retribution is even worse, and I can't even fathom that. But Afterlife... I get the titles of these movies mixed up. I don't know. I don't know. I've probably seen them out of order. It wouldn't make any difference anyway. I mean, the damn things contradict their plot so much. It's like if you see the previous movie in the series, you feel like you know less than if you had just gone into this one first. That's shitty writing. That's shitty continuity. I haven't seen continuity that bad since Highlander 2. which was at least well made. Yeah, I'm praising Highlander 2 over this piece of shit, and I am a Highlander fan. That movie broke my soul, and I have to admit that it's better than most of this guy's shit. And then this genius says, agreed! If you don't like, then simply don't watch. So I should just not have standards. I should just sit... to protect your feelings towards this filmmaker who doesn't know you and will never know you and will never give a shit about you. You could drop dead right now and he wouldn't give a flying shit because he doesn't know you. And he doesn't know anyone who knows you. So just because I'm insulting him, you don't want that guy's feelings hurt by people. I don't understand this. Why am I not allowed to have an opinion? Because it differs from yours? You fucking sissy. Ugh. Okay, and then this guy says, hey, we paid money to see this movie, instead it was total garbage. It's like if you pay for a beer and you get water. Wouldn't you dislike the bartender, especially if he does that every time? And then this person says, okay, fair. But then why do you go back to the same bartender, order the beer, and get water every time? Are you expecting the bartender to give you beer the 5th time? I have no problem that you pay to see Resident Evil 1. Were disappointed and voiced your outrage. But, ellipses, then why do you keep paying for and watching Resident Evil 2 through 4 and presumably 5? The Resident Evil movies aren't for you, but you can't deny that they have all been hits. This logic I just love. I just love this entire... Well, you might not like it, but it made money, so it must be good. That's a point in its favor, right? That it made money. Let me just point something out to you with this entire, well, it made money, so it's better, so it's good argument. In the year that Blade Runner came out, Blade Runner, a science fiction masterpiece heralded by almost universally as one of the greatest science fiction movies ever made. Commercial flop. Didn't make much money. I think it started making money on the video circuit, you know, rentals. But really, and with the director's cut, which is kind of how you have to see it. But in the same year that it came out, The Megaforce, which is a really shitty B-movie. It's like the defining, almost completely unentertaining B-movie of the 80s. I mean, even I can't appreciate it. That movie made more money than Blade Runner. So by your logic, Megaforce is a better movie than Blade Runner. Okay, and then comes the guy who I agree with, but I hate. I hate these guys a lot. This is all said in all caps. I'm going to try to read through this entire comment without getting angry at myself for reading it like this. I watched them in hopes that it would get saved by a miracle. Bad punctuation. People who like these films clearly have dog beep in their eye. He spelled out beep between 2 asterisks. In their eyes and are easily pleased. If you played the video games, have some respect for... have some respect for them. Bad punctuation. The reason I'm so pissed off with him is... he's directing. He doesn't put a G in at the end of directing. And writing skills is because... I love how this guy's criticizing anyone's writing skills. Is because he has taken the one opportunity to make Resident Evil movies and ruined it by making his own beep version where he just doesn't put a T at the end of just. And here comes a reasonable poster. I don't necessarily agree with this guy, but he's reasonable, and I will give him points for that. I play the games. Most of them I have played. In fact, I have Resident Evil 6 pre-ordered, and I still believe the movies are fun and entertaining. It's got a different path than the game's story follows, but I don't care. I admit it, the story might be dull, but the one thing Anderson can do is create good action scenes. I can always expect cool action from him. Okay, you see, he doesn't try to use any logic to discredit the opposing argument with that entire, well, it made more money, or, if you don't like it, don't watch it, derp-da-doo. And he just states his opinion, while I completely disagree with it, that Paul W.S. Anderson directs good action scenes. Dude, have you seen his movies? And I don't just mean I don't just mean, like, Mortal Kombat, because I'll admit, that was actually some really good action scenes. Love that movie. That was him early in his career when he had promise. You know, before they started hurling money at him to make shit. But you know what? You know, whatever. This guy, I don't have a problem with this guy. He's one of the rare posters on the Internet Movie Database who isn't a dickhole. In this one post, he could be a complete dickhole for all I know. But... And then comes the barely literate asshole with stupid logic and just bad punctuation. There are only 3 letters in this that were capitalized. I'll point them out when I get to them. You're stupid, ellipses. Who forced you, letter U, to go there the first time? Your mom, ellipses, question mark. He spelled out the Cesar Millan thing. Oh, and by the way, he is one lucky SOB! Capitalized all those letters. To be with Milya Hotness Jovovich. I think he misspelled Milya. Not easy to be so jealous and all envy. Okay. So, this is just such a painfully stupid fanboy comment from this guy. Yeah, no, he's a good director, and hey, if you think that, like, if you guys are just hating because he gets to fuck a hot chick. And now, on to another one. This thread is titled, To Paul W.S. Anderson Haters Chew on This. This is going to be good. It's some press release about how they're going to make another Resident Evil. And this is the one after Afterlife. You know, and how it got 73 million box office. As if that somehow, you know, gives it any sort of merit as a film. And how they're definitely going to make another one. Basically, this guy's saying, hey guys, suck on this. They're making a new one. Durr. Yeah, nice try. Do you really think that's going to, like, make people go, oh no! No, the reaction's going to be more like, ugh, this shit again. Why do people keep giving this fuckhead money? There, that's your reaction. It's not anger, it's really more disgust at this point. It might have been anger, like, with the third movie, but, you know, once you get up to, like, number 5, it's just, fucking really? Another... Ugh. Now this guy says, I think it's funny that how so many of you are actually butthurt over... You know, if you say butthurt on the internet, I stop taking what you say seriously. Over a guy who directed/wrote Resident Evil. Yes, it seems he sucks, but as much as you guys QQ over him, excuse me, it's not going to change his mind about making another Resident Evil movie, so just get over it. Okay, so again, we have to be silent with our disgust with this guy. Because it's not going to make any difference, right? No. No, he sucks, and I'm going to point that out because I have an opinion, and I like airing my opinions. As do many other people who hate this guy's movies. Deal with it. Then this guy's saying, like... Or he's just starting this post, like, questions. What's your favorite What's your favorite Anderson movie? Well, I happen to like the Fantastic Mr. Fox. Oh, wait, no, we're talking about this asshole, not one of the good Andersons. Okay. What's your... Mortal Kombat. What's your favorite moment in said movie? Those were $500 sunglasses, asshole. This is where you fall down. Least favorite Paul W.S. Anderson movie. No flaming, no bashing. Ooh, do we have half an hour? What kind of movie would you like to see him direct? Direct to video. What franchise would you like to see him undertake as the director, producer, writer? I don't even want to say something I don't care about, because it'll just end up being terrible, and I'll feel guilty if he actually ends up doing it. And then this person, Jovovich Fangirl. Favorite Paul Anderson movie. Soldier and Resident Evil. I have nothing in common with this woman. I can tell you that right now. Nothing in common. If you like Soldier and the first Resident Evil movie more than you like, say, Mortal Kombat and Death Race, I mean, I've heard Shopper was pretty good, or Shopping, whatever it was called. You know, but if you like those two pieces of shit more than you like his decent movies, then I don't know, I got nothing in common with you. Least favorite movie, Paul Anderson, Mortal Kombat. It's not terrible, it's pretty much the subject matter on which it's based on. No, it isn't. It's like bare bones basic in its similarity. Sub-Zero and Scorpion aren't characters, they're just guys who get killed pretty quickly, and they're bad guys, but instead of normal competitors. And it strays pretty far from the subject matter, because of 2 letters and 2 numbers. PG-13. And I like the Mortal Kombat movie a lot, but like shit, you know, the statement like that means you have no idea what the hell you're talking about. So that's my latest encounter with the Internet Movie Database message boards. Really, it's not the most insanely stupid thing I've ever seen on there, but pretty bad. It has all the hallmarks of what pisses me off about the IMDB. But it really isn't exceptionally annoying. It's just... Ugh. Look, I caught one of those pieces of shit movies, I don't know which one it was, on TV, cable, the other night, and I just remember watching it, just getting pissed off about it. That's why it annoyed me. Yeah, and in conclusion, they're making Resident Evil 6, the movie. It's going to be out next year or something.